Sports on Tap Detroit, brought to you by the Realtors of the Joe Wright Group, Jason Stiltner of Flagstar Bank, Time Out with Stephen Scott, presented by Baldman Entertainment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, with loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping with news and straw dropping. They're getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke, from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening, if you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and ride with lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater, you better just let it go and all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Welcome to episode 108 of Sports on Tap Detroit. I am Chris Scott alongside Joe Waddell. Joe, I know you didn't fill out a bracket this year, but I want to know, how's everybody's bracket doing?
Yeah, I didn't do a bracket this year, but from what I understand, it's a good thing I didn't.
Yeah, it is a good thing you didn't.
I think everybody's brackets are pretty much rough toilet paper at this point.
It's pretty much all anybody's bracket is good for at this point. I want to say there's been a lot of upsets, but now I don't necessarily think they are upsets anymore. Simply because of how college sports are now with NIL and the transfer portal and things like that. I don't necessarily know if a 16 beating a 1, which happened again this year,
right,
with Purdue losing, and thank God it was Purdue.
Yeah.
We tried to tell you the Big Ten is garbage this year. Absolute garbage.
Fairleigh Dickinson.
So
sounds like a prom queen from a movie.
It does from like the 50s or
yeah,
something, like, from the 40s or 50s.
Yeah, it's that doesn't sound like a school that could beat a number 1 seed in the tournament.
Right.
But they did. And this is becoming, I know it's only the second time it's happened in NCAA tournament history, but I feel as time goes on, you're going to start seeing this more and more and more. And, like, quote, upsets happening more and more and more because, as I said, with NIL and the transfer portal, these teams in the quote, Power 5 conferences, the Big Ten, the SEC, ACC, etc., I don't think these teams are that much better than these mid-majors. Well, so, I mean, you saw a couple upsets. You saw Princeton beat Arizona.
Yeah.
A 15 over a 2.
Uh-huh.
You saw Furman, a 13 over a 4, beat Virginia.
Oh, fucking Virginia. You look at Virginia's last, I think, 5 tournaments, out first round, national champion, out first round. Or so, it's something like that. Like, they either go out early or they win the whole damn thing.
Right, and then the other side of the bracket, you didn't have any big ones, really. You did have Penn State kind of upset Texas A&M, a 10 seed over a 7. And then you had Pittsburgh beat Iowa State, which was an 11 over a 6. So those aren't big ones. But on the other side of the bracket, you had 3 teams that were considered major upsets. And I think I'm with you on this one, Chris, is yes, if you're looking at seeding, then they're upsets, major upsets. But if you're looking at it realistically, and the way it's going to continue to be with the NIL money and basically free agency for NCAA players, which is the transfer portal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to start to level itself out.
It's going to, because these guys are staying longer now. You're not seeing so many one and dones anymore because they are getting that NIL money.
Yep.
And I think that's a good thing for college basketball. I think it's going to make it an overall better product. And once you get to the tournament, it's going to make it for a better tournament, which, frankly, I'm happy about because, I mean, if you had a bracket this year, you're just looking at all these games and you're just like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
And in case you don't know, Princeton, the 15, that beat Arizona actually beat Missouri as well.
They're in the Sweet 16.
They're in the Sweet 16 as a 15 seed.
Yeah, like
So-
number 9 Florida Atlantic is in the Sweet 16. They're going to play Tennessee in the Sweet 16. You know, that's I don't know how much you want to say Michigan State beating Marquette in the round of 32 is an upset, but you know, that's a 7-2. That's
I mean, it's a 7-2, so it
you
is
could
an
say
upset.
that's an upset. You know, it's not a huge upset, but it's an upset nonetheless.
Right.
So I mean, you're seeing it, and I absolutely love it. I think it's great.
I think it makes for better tournament to watch.
Yeah, 100% it does. Especially not even if you're just filling out a bracket, but if you're like placing some money on the games.
Right.
You know, you don't. It's not just chalk anymore. You know,
Right.
you can take that underdog and you actually have a legitimate shot to actually win some money.
Yep.
Which is fantastic. So, I think the tournament as a whole has been fun to watch. I still think the first Thursday and Friday of the NCAA tournament are two of the best days in sports. Like, I used to take those 2 days off
Yeah.
from work. I mean,
You don't anymore?
No, but I watched all the games at work and whatnot, so that was cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, I used to take those days off because, like I said, I think they're two of the best days in sports. Just because it's just fun, especially to see the upsets on the first day.
Right.
It's great. So, you know, we just, you know, I kind of want to hit on that because obviously it's a big thing moving forward. Obviously March Madness and whatever. So
I think it continues as well.
I do too. I can see some upsets happening here. Like you look at, we'll just take in the Midwest. They got Miami who made it to the Sweet 16, which I'm happy about. They're taking on number 1 Houston. Houston has not looked great to me. Miami has looked. Their first game was iffy, but then they just absolutely dump trucked Indiana. Again, another
Yeah.
Big Ten team that got dump trucked.
Yeah,
They look good against Indiana, so I could see Miami doing something against Houston. Whether they win or not, obviously, who knows? But
I can see Arkansas getting past UConn.
that was another upset. Them taking out Kansas.
Yep.
You know,
They took out number 1 Kansas. I can see them getting past UConn. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I can see it happening.
right. I mean, this is obviously not.
Over on the other side, I can see Michigan State getting past Kansas State.
I think Michigan State will get past Kansas State.
and
in the
that
game.
they're a 7 seed.
Yeah. I mean, Florida Atlantic. I could see them beating Tennessee.
I can because I don't think Tennessee's played very well in this tournament so far. They won 58-55, and then the last game they did beat Duke,
Right.
sort of handily. But you know, I can see Florida Atlantic getting past
Absolutely.
them as a 9 seed. You know, this could be one of the times where you see some very high seeds get into the later rounds of the tournament.
Like I'm looking at all these Sweet 16 games, and I don't look at one of them and say, "Nah, I'm taking chalk on that one."
Yeah.
Like because any one of these games, any one of these lower seeds could absolutely win that game.
About the only one where I would guarantee, like if you told me you had to guarantee a chalk, Bama.
Okay.
They've played
fair.
the best out of any of the higher seeds that I've seen. You know what I mean? Won both of their games handily.
Right.
Just easily.
I mean, I see where you're going with that, and if I had to choose one that would be chalk, I guess that would probably be the one I would go with. But
Yeah. And that's the thing. If you told me I had to choose one chalk, they would be the team I would go with because they've handled both the teams they've played fairly easily.
right. But I mean, that's what I love about this. Just looking at the Sweet 16, there's not one that I'm just like dead set. Like, yeah.
And
that's happening.
by the way, fuck Alabama. How the fuck do they get to be such a damn good team in football and basketball? Fuck you.
How pissed off do you think that makes Saban? That Alabama is good at basketball.
Right. Yeah. They're going to overshadow the football team now. God damn. And you know the bad thing is I actually have rooted for their basketball team over the years.
Really?
Because they've been kind of underdog basketball team throughout the years in these tournaments. They haven't come in as a high seed. This is the first year they've come in as a 1. They've been
you're
sort of higher seeds.
It was
over the-
Auburn that was like the better
Yeah.
basketball school than,
Yep.
than Alabama. So
Yep.
But I love it. I love that the Sweet 16 has matchups that you're just like, yeah, I think this will be a good game. I don't see it going straight chalk. I don't see many of them being blowouts, if any of them. So I'm actually looking forward to the Sweet 16 this year. It should be a lot of fun, especially if you filled out a bracket or you want to throw some money on it.
Yep.
So we'll go from that tournament to another tournament that is about to conclude tonight.
Baseball been very good to me.
Yes.
I hit the ball around the bases.
World Baseball Classic, which is set to coronate a champion tonight as the United States takes on Japan in the championship game, which, hey, the U.S. They got back to the championship game after winning the last World Baseball Classic. And it's nice to see Mike Trout playing in something that actually matters.
That means something?
That means something. Like, he might actually win a championship because he ain't winning one with the Angels. I'll tell you that much.
Not going to happen anyway.
So, during this tournament, there's been a couple of guys that have gotten hurt. Most notably, Edwin Diaz. He got hurt, and if you don't know who he is, he's the Mets closer. And he got hurt. However, he did not get hurt while playing. He pulled a Martin Gramatica and got hurt while celebrating, and he blew out his knee. So after this happens, you see idiots such as Keith Olbermann and KFC Barstool, who's a racist piece of shit, on their Twitter feeds saying, "Call it off. Nobody cares. Nobody cares." Oh, really? Nobody cares, huh? Okay. So let's go to the stats here that nobody cares. The Team USA versus Great Britain was the most watched game in the U.S. since 2009. Nobody cares. The overall opening round attendance is up 98% to over 1 million fans. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Oh, yeah, the players, yeah, they don't care either. Here's some of their quotes. Yeah, they care. They care. Trey Turner says when he hits some big home runs in this series, he goes, honestly, those are probably the biggest hits I've ever had in my life. Yeah, he doesn't care.
Doesn't care?
He doesn't care. I have some, let's see. Let's go. What is this? Hang on. I got a little pop-up in it, of course. It ruined what I was going to go for here. All right, so we'll take that USA versus Great Britain game. It averaged 1.592 million viewers. It made it the most watched first-round game in America since 2009. Again, nobody cares. Japan versus South Korea pulled a 44.4 TV rating, which is insane. That's more than, like, the Super Bowl. So, but nobody cares. Right? I'm just looking at all these numbers of people who watch. Oh, yeah, and the attendance figures, especially for the semifinal round, the quarterfinal round, and the semifinals and the championship game. Yeah, they're all sold out. But nobody cares. So, to Keith Olbermann and KFC Barstool, get fucked. Simple as that. You're bitching because Edwin Diaz got hurt celebrating, which he could have done in a spring training game. You want us to call spring training off too? Is that's what you want to do?
Well, an injury like that, I mean, the dude could have gotten hurt playing at home with his kids.
Exactly.
Like
yeah.
that's just that's stupid. And to say nobody cares is just an asinine statement. Honestly,
yes.
You don't care.
Exactly.
I mean, put that out there. That you could say I don't care if that's what you want to say. You can't say nobody cares because these players wouldn't be there if they didn't care.
Yes.
They're not under contract to be there.
Nope.
They're there because they want to be there. They want to play.
Yes.
They want to win. So saying nobody cares is just an asinine statement.
It's ignorant.
It is.
It's fucking. It's saying shit for clicks.
And it's an overreaction. And I hate overreaction shit like that. It's just ridiculous. Nobody cares. They shouldn't be there.
No,
they shouldn't be playing in this because they're getting hurt. That's an overreaction comment, and it's a dumb comment.
There's a guy.
It's stupid.
I think there was a guy for the Mets in spring training. He got hurt during a game of spring training. Again, should we call off spring training?
Yeah, we should. We should call off spring training. We should call off all preseason football.
I'm actually okay with that.
Well, I mean, listen, I'll be honest with you. I think they should dumb it down to 2 games.
Fair.
That's this whole 4 games and now they're down to 3. I think is a little too much. But should they call off? Should they call?
Our guy Bam goes. At least he didn't headbutt a wall like Gus.
Gus Farrat.
Well played, sir. Yes, that's a good reset. I like that.
You know, should we just call off all OTAs for football? Should we call off all, training camp? Like
right.
what? Should we just not just have them come in and start playing games? That's it for everybody. But again, this is This is the equivalent to, what did you compare this to earlier? Like, this is the equivalent to,
It's like the World Cup of hockey.
Right.
This is quasi the World Cup of soccer. It's the World Cup.
right.
That's
So
what it is.
it's the World Cup of baseball,
Yes, basically, that's exactly- yes.
So again,
But again, nobody cares.
Nobody cares,
Nobody cares.
even though the players have all chosen
No.
to be there. They've decided to do this.
Yes.
Injuries happen. Get over it.
Like
That's life.
like this edition is drawn through the first. This is just through the first round. It's drawn over 1 million fans. That's more fans than the Oakland A's had all season last year. But nobody cares. Right. Nobody cares. So like I said, Olbermann and KFC Barstool and these other morons, get fucked. You're fucking wrong. This is like, do you want to just cancel the World Cup then? I mean, how about we cancel that?
Yeah, let's do that. Nobody cares.
Like, just to say shit like that is just so fucking ignorant. It's like, yo, that's like we just said. No, you don't care,
right.
and that's fine. You don't have to care.
So when you write the article,
Yes.
when you
Or-
decide to put it out there,
Yeah.
say, I don't care about this. I don't understand why they're playing in this.
Right.
I don't like it. I don't think they should be playing because they get injured. Okay, well, that's on you. You don't have to care. Congratulations.
Right.
If you say nobody cares, that's an asinine statement.
It's like when people say, "Oh, I
It's
think I speak
ignorant.
for all." No, you don't speak for.
You don't.
You don't. You don't speak for me. Like again, if you don't care, that's fine. Like that's your prerogative, and I don't have an issue with that. But don't say that nobody cares because it's just dumb. You sound like an idiot. But anyways,
Speaking of speaking for everybody,
oh boy.
I saw another one of these articles about going to hockey.
Oh yeah.
James Reimer
Yep.
refuses to wear the Pride jersey,
Yep.
and the whole world is up in arms. But in reality, it's not the whole world. It's a select few people
Yep.
who want you to be all-inclusive of everybody
Yep.
until you don't agree with them. And then all of a sudden, we need to cancel you because you don't agree with me. We're not all-inclusive at that point. We're all equal. We all need to be inclusive
Yes.
until you disagree with me.
Yes.
And then go to another place. Go to another country, another planet, whatever. Let's go somewhere because you don't agree with me. But I'm all-inclusive. I love everybody except for you because you don't agree with me. So get fucked. I'm over this shit, man. I really am. I'm fucking over it. I just am so tired of our pussified world. I really am. We're allowed to fucking disagree.
And this
We're allowed to not give a shit.
Agreed. I had a conversation about this on Twitter the other day because obviously when it was posted and I saw that it happened, I go, so he's allowed to do that. He's literally allowed to do that. And some guy like in all caps, he's like, not if he's getting paid by a National Hockey League team. I'm like, it's literally in the collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah.
Like he can absolutely do this if he wants.
He can absolutely
if he
refuse
wants
to
to
wear the
be
jersey.
the quote outcast and do this, then so be it.
He's allowed to.
And this is why I like what the Sharks did. They said, fine, you want to do it? Go ahead. We don't care. We're going to move forward with this. If you don't want to be a part of it, that's fine. That's your prerogative. Do
That's
it.
his choice.
Exactly.
You don't have to agree with it. You just have to deal with it.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. And I was listening to a podcast today, and they were talking about this, and they're kind of like they were like disappointed, but they understood why because he's allowed to do it. They weren't like bashing him or anything like that, but they also said you're never ever going to get everybody to agree on something.
Never.
It's not going to happen.
Never.
But the fact that you got 99% of the team to wear these, I think it's a win. You got to consider that a win because you're never going to get 100%. You're not.
I just am a believer in you have a choice.
Yes. I mean, I
don't
agree with your choice.
I don't care whether somebody agrees with my fucking choices or not.
Right.
I have the choice. No matter what it is. I don't have to live your life.
Yeah.
I don't have to do what you do. I don't have to like what you like. I will respect you, and I expect you to respect me.
Right.
Period.
Now here was his statement after game 1 night. He says, for all 13 years of my NHL career, I have been a Christian, not just in title, but in how I choose to live my life daily. Reimer said, I have a personal faith in Jesus Christ who died on the cross for my sins, and in response asks me to love everyone and follow him. He continues, I have no hate in my heart for anyone, and I have always strived to treat everyone that I encounter with respect and kindness. In this specific instance, I'm choosing not to endorse something that is counter to my personal convictions, which are based on the Bible, the highest authority in my life. I strongly believe that every person has value and worth, and the LGBTQIA plus community, like all others, should be welcomed in all aspects of the game of hockey.
See, that could not be a better statement, in my opinion,
Right.
because he said why he
Yes.
feels. In all of that, he said, I live my life based on these beliefs. I still believe everybody has value and worth, and I try to love everybody, but my beliefs lead me to not wear this jersey. Okay, I'm okay with that.
And to the Sharks' credit, they said, as we promote these standards, which obviously what they're promoting is inclusivity.
And exactly.
It says, as we promote these standards, we also acknowledge and accept the rights of individuals to express themselves, including how or whether they choose to express their beliefs, regardless of the cause or topic. Okay.
Exactly.
The Sharks got it right on this one. They're like, again, you want to be that guy? Be that guy.
To me, this whole scenario, the people involved got it right. It's the people on the outside that didn't get it right.
Of course. Because it's, you don't agree with me.
We need to be all inclusive. But I'm not including you because you don't agree with me.
Exactly.
So fuck you.
Exactly.
Like, it's just, I'm fucking over it, man. It's ridiculous.
Like, I understand why these teams want to do it. And I think they should continue to do it. But don't ostracize somebody for not participating in it if they don't want to.
Nope.
Because frankly, they shouldn't have to. And I don't care how much money they're getting paid. I couldn't care less.
It doesn't
Especially
matter.
when it's not in your collective bargaining agreement or your contract or whatever.
If it's something you don't believe in
Yes.
and you don't want to do,
Yeah.
that's what this country is about.
Like we always talk about freedom.
You have a freedom to
that.
choose not to or not to do
Yeah.
this, along with many other fucking things.
Every time I hear that word, I think of like that first scene in the newsroom with Will McAvoy when he just goes ham on everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was such a great scene.
Yep.
But he was he was spot on.
One of the best scenes in any show
It was so good
ever.
and he was spot on with what he said. It was amazing.
We're not the greatest country in the
We're
world.
not. What makes America the best country in the world? Freedom and freedom. Okay. What? Like
Many countries have freedom.
exactly. So, but yeah, I these leagues are going to keep doing this, and again, I don't have any problem with that. I think they should.
I'm okay with them doing this promotion and them doing these things, but I'm also okay with them, in the same breath, allowing the players to choose their own paths.
Yes.
You shouldn't make somebody do something they don't want to do
That is correct.
in any aspect of life.
Right. Yeah, it's just I don't know, just where the world is headed right now. I don't even know anymore. I really don't. I look at it and I'm just like, I got nothing, man.
Yeah, I mean, this could go down a rabbit hole, but I'm the same way, man. I look at the world every day, and I internally weep for the world that we're leaving our children, and it scares me. I mean, we're in a world now where what everyone's like, words hurt. Words hurt me. I'm insulted. I'm offended. Okay. How about I say something to you and then punch you in the face? Tell me which one hurts more.
Right.
Do words really hurt? Because I'm one of those people that words don't fucking mean anything to me.
You go literal.
Yeah, I mean, do words really hurt? You tell me which one hurts more.
Right.
Because words don't hurt. Get the fuck out of here. You choose to let words hurt you. And this leads me into, I don't know if anybody out there has seen it. I'm sure almost everybody has. But the Chris Rock special that's on Netflix called Selective Outrage, which, is fucking perfect for the world we live in, because all the outrage you see is selective, because you can be outraged at one person for doing something, but another person doesn't. And it's fucking okay.
I think I'm gonna get one of these.
No big deal. Oh, the unis?
Yeah, the USA
Yeah.
ones.
Those are nice.
Those are sweet.
But it's okay if one person does it, but it's not okay if another person does it. We need to cancel them.
Yes.
And then in his special, again, he actually finally addressed the Will Smith smack.
He did.
The,
And then
the
people
smack
were
heard around the world.
and people were getting on him about it.
Well, and so Will Smith.
I'm like, so let me get this straight. Like, you're going to
He's-
get on him about it.
he's
He's
not
the one that
allowed-
got slapped in front of millions of people
on national
on
fucking
national
television.
television. And you're going to tell this man he doesn't have the right to say what he said?
And a fucking year later,
Are you kidding me?
a year later,
Come
he
on
hasn't
now.
said anything all along.
Come
And a year
on.
later, he has a special where he addresses it, and all of a sudden now it's. And Will Smith even came out and said, "Oh, I'm hurt. He needs to let it go, bro.
You slapped him.
Bro, first of all, he did let it go. He didn't press charges. He didn't say a fucking word,
Yeah.
dude. He didn't say nothing.
You could have absolutely.
He could have he could have sued you.
Yeah.
He could have done a lot of things. He could have pressed charges. He didn't do any of that. What he did is he chose to do it in his profession, which is he's a comedian.
Yep.
And he put it in his comedy special. And I'll be honest with you, I thought it was fucking hilarious. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And I thought he should have addressed it before then. And for the fact to Will Smith come out and say he needs to let it go, Will Smith, fuck you, dude.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm not
Get-
with that.
No, get fucked.
I'm not with that. It's just like
You did what you did.
Yeah.
Which you did not have a right to do. You put your hands
No.
on him. You did not, as much as funny as everybody kind of thought it was, you did not have a right to put your hands on him. But he definitely had a right to say whatever he wanted to about that situation because you bitch slapped him on national fucking television in front of millions and millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he just now is saying something about it, and that's really all he said? No, Will, you can get fucked at that point, bro.
Yeah, you can't be that guy. Like you literally, you did that. You expect this man not to react to
Right.
that?
Right.
Like I don't care how long it took him to react to it. He did it on his own time, and he has every fucking right to do that.
And once again, we're back to words hurt because Will Smith said that hurt him. That he came out and said that. You know what? You know what hurt Chris Rock more?
Getting slapped.
Getting smacked in the fucking face by Muhammad Ali. Because, dude, you played Muhammad Ali in
Right.
a movie, bro, and you're significantly bigger than he is. So, in turn, a bigger Will Smith who played Muhammad Ali
Yeah.
smacked the shit out of Chris Rock. And you're saying you're hurt because he had words about it later on, a year later.
Yeah,
The words hurt you, but that smack on national television did not hurt him at all.
Yeah, I'm not with Will Smith on this one. I'm sorry, I'm not.
It's just it's all ridiculous.
You're gonna sit here and bitch and whine about it. Get real, bro. Get real. Stop it.
I'm
You got what you had coming to you.
I'm over all the stupidity and the fucking bullshit that is in society right. I'm over it all.
Yes.
Words hurt. I'm offended. Can't say this. Can't say that. Fuck. Let's move on.
Yes, we shall.
Moving from that shitty topic to something that's really, really good.
What's that?
Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank.
That's right. If you're a homeowner or looking to be a first-time home buyer, give Jason Stiltner, Senior Loan Officer at Flagstar Bank, a call today at 248-752-3631. Jason has great mortgage programs for first-time home buyers, including down payment assistance options and excellent interest rates. Again, give my guy Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank a call today at 248-752-3631 and get the excellent service you deserve. Flagstar Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 27546. There you go. All right then.
I feel better.
Yeah. Speaking of, I gotta grab my gears for later too. So
I like that.
yes,
That was mine. Mine's over with.
that was good. Yeah, that was solid. Let's get back into a little bit of the free agency from we continued from last week because obviously there's been some more moves since our last show. Let's travel through the AFC East to see if anything. Like I like the Bills. They signed Damian Harris, which I like that signing. I think it's a solid signing for them.
Yes, I do. So he hasn't panned out for New England, really.
No.
But he's shown flashes. He is a good running back to add to that running back room.
Mm-hmm.
They needed somebody. He's not necessarily the guy they needed, but he's another guy in that room,
Right.
and he can bring some production to that spot.
Deontay Hardy, I'm not very familiar with his game, but So, it's another weapon, which is fine. And bringing back Jordan Poyer was big.
He's Deontay Hardy is basically a return guy. He's a guy that's going to play on special teams.
Okay.
He's gonna have punt returns, kick returns.
I'm just going to see if the
Trent Sherfield they signed to a 1-year contract. He's from San Francisco.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I just like that they brought Jordan Poyer back, which that's a nice little deal there.
I tell you, New England is doing something right now that they don't normally do, and they're actually going out and signing some free agents. James Robinson, Juju Smith-Schuster, Mike Gesicki. They're going after some guys that you don't normally see them go after, and to me, I see somewhat of a little bit of a panic here in New England right now, trying not to become the castaway.
Like irrelevant.
Yeah.
This is all going to be based on how Mac Jones plays.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you can sign whomever you want, but if Mac Jones has a season he just had again, which I don't think he will, I think he'll be better this year, but especially because he has a legitimate offensive coordinator now. But that's the thing. It all depends. This is all dependent upon how he plays.
Yep.
So,
I do like the fact that my Browns signed Joshua Dobbs as backup quarterback this year. It's not Jacoby Brisket.
Is Aaron Rodgers a Jet yet?
Not yet. I'll be honest with you. That's going to get ugly.
It's not going to get ugly because what are the Packers going to do? They're not going to keep him.
Yes, they could.
They're not going to. They don't want him.
They could pay him and choose to not do anything with him. Basically, they could be like, here's your money. Fuck you.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're eventually going to cave and they're going to trade him to the Jets.
I would
because
like
their flaw was in saying we don't want you anymore.
Yeah, they don't want him anymore.
I know that, but coming out and saying it was dumb.
But they're willing to, if they don't get what they're looking for him, they're willing to eat the contract.
We'll see. I'm curious to see how that situation plays out. And then I read a report today that in Baltimore that Lamar he's like, I'm done. Like, I want out. Like, he's,
I think that was all but said, and now it's been said.
Yeah, he kind of did it, and he's like, okay. And I saw some beef with this Orlando Brown signing with the Bengals. Like, people were saying he fumbled the bag with Kansas City and signing with Cincinnati, but I actually looked into his contract. No, he didn't. He's getting more guaranteed money with the Bengals than he would have with Kansas City.
Yeah.
People need to – this is the thing with NFL contracts. You have to actually look into them to see guaranteed money because that's what an NFL contract is the guarantee. Like, you can see a guy sign for, 5 years, $110 million. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
That means basically like 3 years, like $60 million.
And it's in the NFL, it's about the guaranteed money
Yes.
because no NFL contract is guaranteed unless it's in the contract that they're guaranteeing the money.
Unless it's Deshaun Watson.
It's not like, because they guaranteed all the money.
Right.
And they're actually going to renegotiate that.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, it's the NFL's contracts are not guaranteed. Not like baseball. Baseball, you sign a contract, you get that
all
money.
of it. And that's another thing going to the World Baseball Classic. Like, you're getting your money. Like,
Those players that got hurt are still going to get paid.
yes.
And it's baseball contracts are guaranteed.
But what about our closer? And that's another thing, Mets fans. Like, you went out and you spent like almost $1 billion on free agents this past offseason, and you're bitching about your closer? Are you kidding me?
Well, without a good closer, the rest of those players don't mean shit.
Get the fuck out of here, man. What a joke. Like, you spent almost $1 billion on free agents, and you're whining about a closer. Come on. Get out of here. But I digress. Any other big moves that you see?
Trying to see. Singletary went to Houston.
Yeah. I saw the Lions just signed somebody, too. I forgot what the dude's name was. From Philadelphia. Cornerback. Or at least a defensive back. I'm not sure if he's a corner or a safety.
Oh, is it Gardner Johnson?
Yes. I love what they've done. I've loved what they've done in free agency.
So, yeah, we'll address the Lions. I do, too. I love what they've done with free agency. They've gone after free agents that will shore up the defensive side of the ball where they were completely lacking last year. So, The only thing they haven't done is they haven't addressed linebacker, which they can do in the draft. And they they're basically counting on that offense being what it was in the second half of last year as opposed to the first half, or better. They're hoping, holding out hope that it's not what it was in the first half, that Jared Goff can be protected, stay upright, not have any turnovers, not cost them games. And because that's what happened. The first half of the first half of the season was turnovers, and Goff wasn't protecting the football. Second half of the year was a complete reversal of that. So with what they've done this offseason, I really do like it. I believe Montgomery's an upgrade over Williams. I know Lions fans are distraught because the face of the attitude adjustment and the culture change was Williams. And they don't like the fact that he's gone now. But if the culture really has changed,
it doesn't matter.
One guy doesn't matter in that locker room.
I agree with you.
So the players are going to move on. The team's going to move on. And it'll be like he wasn't there. It is what it is, man. It's the NFL. It's a business. And if the culture really has changed, one player won't make a difference in or out of that locker room. So I do like what they've done. I think the draft sets up well for them, and we'll get into that here in a few minutes.
Yes, we will. Look at kind of what the Panthers did. They got the corpse of Adam Thielen, which and then Miles Sanders, which I actually like that signing. But this is the issue. Your quarterback's Andy Dalton until you draft one in the draft, which again we'll get to shortly. But I just never understand what that franchise is doing. Ever.
I don't know.
But and then you got your Baker jersey on order, right?
No.
For Tampa?
No. I didn't order a Tom jersey for Tampa. I'm not ordering a Baker one. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm rooting for the kid. I mean, I like Baker. I'm a fan of Baker. I've been a fan of his since college.
Yeah.
I hope he can go out there and be the guy that I think he really is, as opposed to the guy that half the world thinks he is.
Well, like you said, he goes, "I'm not here to be Tom Brady. I'm here to be Baker Mayfield." Well, I'm sure everybody is
aware,
is very excited about that. That's great.
Which Baker Mayfield are you going to be?
Baker Mayfield are you getting? So we'll see how that all works out. We talked about that earlier. I think that's a team that should just blow it up, just start from scratch. Your run is over.
Dallas actually traded for Brandon Cooks.
Oh yeah, I saw that yesterday.
So they got another weapon on that offense.
It doesn't matter.
I truly believe that they're going to regret if they don't get another running back
because they cut Zeke
with Tony Pollard. They signed Ronald Jones to a 1-year deal, but that's not who I'm talking about, guys. You got to have something else other than Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard cannot be your number one, do everything running back on every down. You have to have another guy
because he's not that kind of back.
He's not.
And obviously you cut Zeke, which we kind of saw coming. We said that was going to happen, but
that was the smartest move they could have made this offseason. To be honest with you,
Yep.
I mean, and they've made some good moves. I actually like their offseason. They've done all right for themselves. I believe that cutting Zeke was the right move. You just have to get another guy back there.
I mean, obviously we'll see what goes on later in free agency, especially with the cuts and things like that. We'll kind of see.
You're going to see rosters cut down. Yep. You're going to see guys move around. But the draft is really the next big stepping stone for everybody.
Yes.
And talking about the Lions at this point have got to be the favorite to win the division.
I think they are. I was talking with a buddy of mine the other day. I said that to him. I go, frankly, I think they're going to win the division this year. I do.
I do too. I think barring anything drastic, they should win that division.
And if they don't, it'll be a colossal failure.
If they don't,
it's a failure.
It's a huge failure. But if they don't, it will be because Chicago's moves have actually been the right moves, which is hard to say for Chicago. But I love what Chicago's done this offseason.
I do too,
and they still have more cap space than anybody.
Yeah,
and they went out and spent $72 million on a fucking linebacker, and they still have more money than everybody else.
I'm still a bit weary about how they're going to spend that money, but I mean, we'll see.
I like what they've done so far. I mean,
Yes.
so they lost David Montgomery. So they have Khalil Herbert back there. They went out and signed Deontay Foreman, who was a very decent running back the last couple years in a 2 running back system the last couple places he's been. They signed Travis Homer. Depth at that position.
Yeah.
They went out and traded for DJ Moore. Not only did they trade for DJ Moore,
They fleeced the Panthers in doing so.
they fucking
Yes.
they robbed
Yeah.
the Panthers in doing that. Because if you look at what the trade was, right?
I'm looking at it right now.
So we talked about this before. Going into Josh Allen's 3rd season, the Bills traded for Stephon Diggs. They gave up a 1st, a 5th, a 6th, and a future 4th. Going into Justin Fields' 3rd season, the Bears traded for DJ Moore. Now, not the same receiver,
No.
but still a damn good number 1 receiver. DJ Moore has not scratched the surface of what he can be in a real legit offense. And yet they traded for DJ Moore in addition to securing 2 1s and 2 2s. Now, in those 2 trades, Stephon Diggs worked out pretty well for Buffalo,
He has.
but they did lose some draft picks in doing it.
Yes.
Could those have helped them?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, Chicago got a number 1 wide receiver for Justin Fields and got 4 more draft picks as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, Carolina got absolutely fleeced on that one.
Yes.
Anywho, so, since we're talking draft picks and
Yes.
draft, let's hop into that. Let's hop into that. We got some mock draft stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you want me to run down? I got Daniel Jeremiah's 3.0 mock draft.
This
Just got
is-
released today.
Yes, this is the one I'm looking at as well.
Okay. So we'll start off with the number 1 pick where it's Carolina. Obviously, they had that pick because Chicago traded it to him.
Yes,
Now, Daniel Jeremiah has them selecting Bryce Young. Chris, do you agree with that?
I do not.
I do not either. I have them taking CJ Stroud.
As do I.
So we'll see. I think we all know it's going to be a quarterback, right? It's going to be a QB. They would not have traded that for anything other than a QB.
I know it's hard to because we always bash on Ohio State quarterbacks.
Yes.
I think he's a better quarterback.
It's hard for me to say that, but I agree with you. But that's not why I'm saying they're going to take him. I just truly believe that's Carolina's guy. That's who they're going to go after.
Like, yeah,
He showed out in the playoffs. That's who they're going after. Next is Houston, and Daniel Jeremiah has them taking C.J. Stroud. Again, we disagree with that. I think this will be Bryce Young.
I think it'll be Anthony Richardson.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
I think that, like we talked about last time, like that tape is going to be like people are going to flip out over that tape or the combine.
I think a team's going to flip out over it. I just don't think it's going to be Houston. I think Houston sticks with one of the 2 chalks here, which is Bryce Young after C.J. Stroud.
That's fair.
So Arizona, Daniel Jeremiah has Arizona taking Will Anderson.
I think they trade it.
I'll be honest with you. This is where I think Anthony Richardson goes.
Really?
I think Indianapolis jumps up 1 spot, being really fucking stupid, because they're afraid somebody else is going to jump up there. They jump up and take Anthony Richardson.
I think they trade this pick because they have so many areas of need.
I think they trade it to Indianapolis because Indianapolis is going to be stupid. They're going to be too afraid somebody's going to jump ahead of them and get Anthony Richardson, and they're going to do that. Now, next in Daniel Jeremiah's draft, he has Indianapolis taking Anthony Richardson.
Right.
Next, Seattle, number 5. He has Seattle taking Jalen Carter. I once again disagree with this one.
There's been some, especially with the issues that have been going on with this fucking guy.
There has been, but I don't think the issues should really weigh into him dropping out of the top. Let's say the top 10. If he drops out of top 10, it's ridiculous.
But you've seen how that weighs.
I have, but if I was making the decision, I would still go with the guy at this point. From what I know at this point, unless something new comes out. Now, yes, there's been a lot of things that have been questionable. I mean, listen, he made a questionable decision in the racing thing. He did just go through that case where he pled guilty to drag racing, which unfortunately the car that he was drag racing with had 2 people that ended up getting in a crash and killed.
Yeah, NFL teams don't don't tend to like that kind of stuff from draftees.
They don't. And not to mention there was 2 weeks in between the combine and his pro day, and in between those 2 weeks he put on 9 pounds.
Yeah, like he
couldn't finish his drills. And again, from everything that I'm looking at is
Trey Turner is raking, man. Jesus.
From everything that I'm looking at, it's that court case and all that stuff, the death of his teammate and the young lady that was part of the staff, all that has weighed very heavily on him. And now that he's pled guilty in that incident, I believe you're going to see something different out of him. Listen, when you're stressed out, it can lead to one of two things, right? You can either lose weight because you're not eating and you're stressed out, or you can binge eat and stress eat and put on 9 pounds in a couple weeks.
Right.
I mean, the dude weighs 300 some pounds.
He's a big dude.
9 pounds for that dude is like one extra meal. You know what I mean? Like,
it is, but if you can't finish your drills, that's a problem.
yes,
That's a big problem.
But when it comes down to it, to me, I look at his talent,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't drop him that far down the board.
Okay.
Drop down. Listen, the dude was talked about as the number 1 overall pick possibly until recently. Dropping him down is one thing, but I don't see Seattle taking him. I don't. I see Seattle taking Will Levis.
Oh, they don't know QB, eh?
I believe so. That contract they gave Geno is a very team-friendly, out after 1 or 2 years deal.
Okay.
They only gave him a 3-year contract, and basically they can get out after 1 and be out scot-free.
Okay.
So to me, that contract says they're still looking at quarterback. I think they go quarterback here. I think they go Will Levis,
All right.
which leaves Jalen Carter for the Lions. And to me, I know you probably disagree after our conversation. To me, with what they've done, they've left themselves in the position, which is never the Lions. Never. They'd never do this. They've left themselves in a position to just take best available player.
But you know the Lions' philosophy. They don't tend to take guys with character issues.
And if they don't take this guy, I think they'll regret it.
That's fair.
That's my opinion.
I'm just looking
No,
at
I agree
the
with you.
track record of the Detroit Lions. They do not take players.
But the track record of the Detroit Lions is also they don't make smart decisions.
Yes.
And the last 2 years,
Yeah.
2.5, I've seen a lot of smart decisions on the Lions.
Yeah. I could absolutely see him landing in Detroit.
I think that makes that defense. Jalen Carter on that defense
That'd be a scary
But-
D-line.
being drafted to the Lions, playing for a guy that is a player motivator in Dan Campbell. I don't like him. Think he's a clown. He's a player motivator, right?
Yes.
He can motivate the players. We've seen it. I think they can get everything they can get out of him. And to me, he's one of the top 2 athletes in this draft.
Okay.
But
I could see it.
Daniel Jeremiah has them taking Devin Witherspoon, cornerback, out of Illinois. To me, that would be a mistake as well. I think the other player to go with here for the Lions
Again,
would be.
I think that's too high for.
It is.
For a corner,
That's
man.
why I disagree with it. I think if they don't go Jalen Carter here, they end up going Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech, edge rusher out of Texas
Which
Tech.
is he has the Raiders taking with the next pick.
Right. He has the Raiders taking him with the next pick. Let's see.
If you shore up that D-line, like
Yeah.
that's personally what I would do if I'm the Lions. You shore up that D-line, like it's already good,
Yep.
and you make it dominant. Like that just helps everybody behind
Absolutely.
you. Everybody behind
Listen,
you.
and Tyree Wilson is a very good player. I just don't see him on the level of Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter, if you've seen him play in college, fuck what you saw at his pro day. You saw him play against players, good players. This dude was dominant.
And I hate to say this with this Tyree Wilson kid, but he played in the Big 12. I'm sorry. The Big 12 is it's
Yeah, so
trash.
so the Lions, if they were to take a corner there, which I don't believe they will, I don't think they're going to make that mistake because they're making smart decisions now. Finally,
Are they?
to me, they are. I hate to say
no,
it,
they
I
are.
really do.
They are.
They if they're going to go corner, I think they should go Christian Gonzalez, who Daniel Jeremiah has Atlanta taking at pick number 8.
Yes.
To me, Christian Gonzalez is the better corner out of those two players. If you're going to take a corner at 6, you take Gonzalez. With the scheme that the Lions run, they play more man at corner, and Christian Gonzalez is more of a man cover corner. He's faster. He's quicker. I see that being the better pick there, but that's just me.
Well, who do you have Atlanta taking?
Atlanta, I think Atlanta does take a corner to put with AJ Terrell. I think if Christian Gonzalez is there, I think that's correct. I think they take him. But I don't. I'm not sure he's going to be there.
All right.
But if the draft pans out like you and I kind of think it will, with Detroit not taking a corner, then I believe that Christian Gonzalez could still be there, and I think Atlanta probably would take him.
That's fair.
Next up is the Bears, and they have the Bears. He has the Bears taking Peter Skoronski out of Northwestern, offensive lineman. To me, that's the smartest pick the Bears can make there.
Yeah,
honestly,
maybe protect your quarterback.
Yes, and Skoronski is dominant. That dude's a monster when it comes to protecting the quarterback and just, I mean.
No, it'd be a smart pick.
Yeah, upgrade your right tackle.
Again,
draft your right. Yeah, draft your tackle of the next 10 years. You know what I mean? Like that. That's what this guy is. He has Philly taking Lucas Van Ness. Yeah,
Yes.
sorry.
Going defense, eh?
Yes. Going with edge rusher out of Iowa. Here is Tennessee taking Jackson Smith-Njigba, who is at this point regarded as the best wide receiver in the draft. Other than Jordan Addison out of USC. So those two guys are regarded as the best 2 wide receivers on the board to start the draft off.
Are we basing this on talent, or are we basing it off number? What are we basing this on?
Talent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't necessarily see it, but I obviously he's a good player. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I don't necessarily see him being the first wide receiver taken in this draft.
Njigba?
Yes.
Okay. I can see it because, I regard him and Addison as the top 2.
Okay.
I have Addison actually ranked above him slightly. I think Addison's the better overall receiver, but Tennessee doesn't make very good decisions. Who knows? They might go with Njigba.
So after that, Tennessee has their second pick of the first round. It looks like they have them going defense on this one.
You talking about Houston?
Yeah, or Houston. Yes.
Yeah, Houston.
Sorry.
Yes, they have him going. Miles Murphy, edge rusher out of Clemson. I think he's a very underrated player. I think that would be a very good pick here for them at 12. I'm hesitant to say a steal, but I think getting him at 12 here, you're going to get good talent for that pick right there.
Right.
The Jets are up next. They have him going Nolan Smith, edge rusher out of Georgia. If you're listening and paying attention, there's a lot of D linemen and edge rushers in this first round. There's very good talent at those positions in this draft.
Yes.
Eric says if they are, they trade out.
Who? What?
So I guess he wants the Lions to trade out. If they are smart. Oh, if they are smart, they trade out.
Oh, okay.
It's
never a bad idea to acquire more picks.
It's never a bad idea. The only problem is it's not always an available option. You have to have
you got to find
a trading partner.
Yeah.
You have to have a dance partner on that dance floor, and when it comes down to it, you can only get so much out of teams for a 6th pick where 4 quarterbacks are going to be gone before you pick, and what are they going to move up for?
They're not moving up for a running back.
Right.
They're not moving up.
They're not going to move up for a running back because running backs don't get taken in the first round much anymore.
Well, that leads me to this pick. What they're talking about New England doing is taking a running back out of Houston or out of Texas.
I completely disagree with this. This will not happen.
The only reason why I somewhat agree with it is because of who's doing it.
Yeah, it won't happen.
I don't think it will either, but if any team I could see doing it, it would be the Patriots. Because they obviously tend to think outside the box a little bit.
A little bit, but they've never. Bill Belichick's never been a drafted running back in the first round type of guy. Ever.
I don't.
Never.
I think
He doesn't value running backs.
He shouldn't. At 14, for what? It's a waste of a pick.
Yeah. No, I would not do that.
We move on to Green Bay. They have them taking Paris Johnson Jr. out of Ohio State.
Oh, they're gonna help protect Jordan Love, the replacement for Aaron Rodgers.
I guess that would appear to be the case. I love it. Like he's leaving, and he's like, "Nah, we're gonna get guys to protect our future quarterback." It's always like bitch it like it was like pulling teeth to get Aaron Rodgers like weapons and linemen that could protect him, something like that. But as soon as he leaves, oh yeah, we can make this happen. Let's go.
They want to protect their nice new shiny object.
Exactly.
Speaking of things that could look new and are shiny,
Yes,
at your service by Pat.
that's right. Looking to brighten up your home or commercial building? Give At Your Service by Pat a call today at 248-794-0008 for your free estimate. At Your Service by Pat specializes in home and commercial building cleaning. Services include roof and house cleaning featuring soft wash, which is a longer-lasting alternative to pressure washing. They also offer window cleaning, concrete cleaning, deck and fence restoration, gutter services, and more. So call At Your Service by Pat today for your free estimate at 248-794-0008. There you go.
A little delayed on that one. Sorry.
A little bit. I was waiting for it.
what
So
she
next
said.
up we got the Redskins, which from everything I hear, they're finally being sold.
Thank God. I can't wait for this to happen.
Yes, because Daniel Snyder is a piece of shit. Obviously, nobody knows who he's selling the franchise to. But
I know who it won't be.
It won't be Jeff Bezos.
It won't be Jeff Bezos.
It won't be that guy.
Jeffrey Bezos.
I said no, but I've heard they started cleaning out the offices at the stadium and whatnot. So
Good.
It looks like a sale is relatively imminent. So,
And it looks like they have them taking a tight end in the. They have them taking the first tight end in this draft at number 16. Dalton Kincaid out of Utah.
But I like what he does say here. I could see them taking a quarterback here.
Maybe.
Like if
So
Levis is there.
if Levis falls, yes, I can see that. If Richardson falls, which I don't see happening,
I don't either.
I can see that
Yeah.
going here. But I don't see any of those guys falling to this point. I just don't. There's too many teams ahead of them that want quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Those four guys are highly regarded in this draft. I don't personally regard them as high as some people around the NFL, but when you look at it, they're going to go early, right? So I don't see any of those guys being available here.
Right.
They just signed Jacoby Brisket. They have Sam Howell from last year. Again, neither one of those guys is very impressive at this point. You don't really look at them as being a real start in the NFL. We don't know about Sam Howell, really. We haven't seen what he can do. Maybe they're going to hand the keys over to him, but I just think if you're looking at taking a quarterback at 16 right now in this draft as your future, you might as well move to a different position because you're not getting
Right.
it there.
Next up, we got the Steelers. They have them taking Broderick Jones, offensive tackle out of Georgia. Honestly, I like this pick. They have to upgrade that offensive line. Their offensive line has been absolute dog shit for the past 5 years.
In 4 or 5 years,
take.
Najee Harris has had about 2 inches of running room his entire career at Pittsburgh so far. His short career at Pittsburgh so far. Kenny Pickett needs some protection back there.
Yeah.
Their new franchise quarterback. Yeah, I think this is a smart pick. I like this pick for them.
Yeah, I think that's a smart way to go right there. And yes, do they need some weapons on the offense? They do.
Yep.
But I think this is more important than that. So.
Yep.
Next up, we have the second pick of the Detroit Lions in the first round. They have them taking Kalijah Cansey, defensive tackle out of Pittsburgh.
So I love this pick for them if they don't go Jalen Carter at the first at their first selection.
Right.
So if they pass on Jalen Carter, or if he's gone before it gets to them, and they go with, say, Tyree Wilson, edge rusher, then Kalijah Cansey is a great pick. He's a very good pick at 18 for your D tackle spot to help get that defensive line being dominant.
Right.
Which is by all accounts what the Lions want to do. They talk about the interior. They talk about the lines on both sides. They talk about the trenches. Right. That's what they want to get right.
That's how you build, man.
They don't talk about the flashy positions. Right. They don't talk about that. They discuss the trenches, the D line, the O line. Their O line is one of the best in the league at this point.
It is. It is, and
I think
D line's slowly becoming one.
Their D line is becoming one. And if they either go Jalen Carter with their first pick, and go corner here,
which I think would be the smart
or
play.
Do they go corner early, or even Tyree Wilson edge rusher early, and then go Kalijah Cansey here?
That's a risk, taking a corner that early.
Right, it is. But look at Sauce Gardner last year. Now you and I both, none of these guys are Sauce Gardner.
That's what I was going to say. That's my point. That's a different animal.
Don't get me wrong. None of these guys are Sauce Gardner, right?
Like we said that during the draft.
Yes.
Like you only take a cornerback that high if he's a guy like
if he's that guy.
If he's that guy, and Sauce Gardner
is that
guy.
But when you look at it, like
then we hammered him for taking Okudah that high.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh,
because he wasn't that guy.
He went 3 overall.
Yeah.
There's no way you should have. A corner should not go that high. Now the Lions have 6th. I still think a corner should not go that high. But if that's the route they take, now they've signed a couple of corners already.
Yeah.
That's
why I don't think they're going to do that.
I don't think they go corner.
I don't either.
But if they go Tyree Wilson early, then they go Kalijah Cansey here.
Right.
I like that.
All right.
That's a good draft for me for them. I look at that and I go, okay, they know what they're doing. They have a plan.
It's weird to put plan and Lions
I
in the
know.
same sentence. It's weird.
It feels dirty.
It does. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and hopefully they have a plan because that's a whole situation down there right now. And I could absolutely see this happening. I could see them trading up to get Levis if he starts to slide.
Possibly.
Because I'm sorry, Baker's not your answer. But again, if you want to burn it down, which I think they should do, you're obviously going to need a quarterback to do that with.
I'm not going to say Baker's not their answer, but listen, your team is you're going to have to burn it down, right? Mm-hmm. Kyle Trask, I don't think is the answer. Baker probably not the answer. Those guys are fillers. But again, I don't
has the potential to be the worst team in the league this year.
Yes, and I don't really like Will Levis. I'll be honest with you, I don't.
Dude's got a cannon for an arm. He does. He throws it like Josh Allen does.
He does, but I just lots of guys have had cannons coming out of college.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, exactly. But when it comes down to it, I mean, I don't see Will Levis making it this far at all. I see him going in the top 6.
Yeah.
So
next up, we got the Sea Chickens. They have them taking Jordan
Addison, who I believe is the best wide receiver in this draft.
I can see that. Give Gino him along with DK.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. And Tyler Lockett.
Nope.
It's not a bad receiving core right there.
Nope.
Let Geno cook, baby. Next up, we got the LA Chargers. They have them taking Zay Flowers out of Boston College, wide receiver.
To me, this would be a pick of, damn it, we need to get a receiver. We've seen 2 go. We need to get one.
And Keenan Allen's always hurt.
I don't like this pick for them if they actually make this. I don't think they will.
All right.
The next pick, Baltimore Ravens taking Joey Porter Jr. That is a complete Baltimore pick.
Oh yeah,
I love that pick, but I actually think Pittsburgh takes that. I think Pittsburgh makes this pick at their 17.
It's Joey Porter.
It's Joey Porter Jr. Yeah. I believe Pittsburgh makes this selection at 17 over an offensive lineman like we talked about, Broderick Jones. I have Pittsburgh taking Joey Porter Jr.
Okay. Next up, we got the Minnesota Vikings. It has them taking Hendon Hooker, QB out of Tennessee.
The 30-year-old senior.
Seriously,
no, I'm just kidding.
He's like 26?
He's like 25. He's going to be 26 by the time the season starts, I believe.
That's something that needs to stop. Like, I'm sorry. There should literally the limit should be, we'll say 23 in college. Like, I'm sorry. Like Stetson Bennett, he's like 40. Like, come on. Ooh.
Oh shit.
Yeah, 23 and that's it. Like, I'm sorry. You're done. Move on.
This wouldn't be a bad pick for them here. Listen, Hendon Hooker was regarded as a first-round draft pick, an early first-round draft pick, if he didn't get hurt. He got hurt, but this isn't a bad one. They have Kirk Cousins. If they make the selection here, it says they're going to turn the reins over to Hendon Hooker at some point. They're looking towards their future, and Kirk Cousins' time is winding down there, and I think everybody knows that that's happening anyway.
Kirk Cousins' time till he finds another team to steal money from is winding down.
Yeah. They have Jacksonville next, taking Deonte Banks.
I love it.
Corner out of Maryland.
Love it.
I like this. I like the position selection. I just, for Jacksonville's sake, I hope they have a better selection of corners.
I like the idea of going for. They're looking to stack that defense,
right?
Which I love it.
Which is good. Listen, going after that position at number 24 overall, I just hope the selection for them is better than just going with Deonte Banks. Not that he's bad. I just would rather have one of the other corners drop to me there besides him.
But his tape is really solid.
Yeah.
And he crushed his scouting combine workout.
Yeah.
Love that. Next up, they got the Giants taking Joe Tippmann, offensive lineman from Wisconsin. You know these fucking linemen from Wisconsin.
And this dude, so this guy is a guy that can play guard or center. He's a versatile lineman that can play 3 different positions for you. And I wouldn't even doubt that he could be able to play offside tackle as well. So that's a good selection for them. They need to help that offensive line.
If you got a versatile guy on your offensive line, it's always a benefit. Next up, we got the Cowboys. Has them taking Mazie Smith out of Michigan, defensive tackle.
Good old Mozzie.
Good old. Is it Mozzie?
Yeah.
Oh, Mazie Smith. My apologies.
Good old Mozzie. The guy that didn't get suspended for carrying a gun?
Yeah. Weird how that worked.
Gun charges. Yeah.
I see what the Cowboys are trying to do here. They're trying to. The defense was good. It was a solid defense. I mean, from what it had been in previous years.
They've addressed the offense.
Yes.
They've addressed the offense during the offseason. They traded for Brandon Cooks. They don't have to do much on that side of the ball. So going after defense and making that defense more dominant, it makes sense. I don't dislike the selection.
What I love about it is it's not even going to matter because you're still not going to fucking win anything.
Right. True. Because you're the Cowboys.
Because you're the Cowboys. Next up, we got the Buffalo Bills. Has them taking Quentin Johnson, wide receiver out of TCU. I don't necessarily know how I feel about them taking a wide receiver when they absolutely need to upgrade both of their lines.
Yeah, I mean, so you've got Stephon Diggs, you've got Gabe Davis. I don't see why you would take a wide receiver here. So I don't like this mock draft for them here.
Especially,
I don't believe they would go this route. I just don't.
If you can upgrade your offensive line even more, if you give Josh Allen time to throw the ball, he's going to find somebody open.
Right. Like listen, in this draft, if the next guy available that goes to Cincinnati is available for Buffalo, I think you go with him.
Yes.
Darnell Wright out of Tennessee, the offensive tackle. If that is who is available between Quentin Johnston, wide receiver, and Darnell Wright, offensive tackle, you take the offensive tackle.
100%. Absolutely. But if that doesn't happen and he does follow the Bengals, I think that's a great pick for the Bengals.
Yes. Oh, I agree. Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. But yeah, going back to the Bills, I think that is more of a priority than signing or drafting a wide receiver at this point in time, because we've seen it with wide receivers. You can get one second round,
you can,
or whatever, and develop.
Absolutely.
Like, you don't have to take one in the first round, especially when your offensive line is not very good. It's not very good. You can't run the ball.
You need a better offensive line. You need a better defensive line. You need a better running back.
Yes.
There's a lot of things you need, and another wide receiver, another weapon for Josh Allen is really not one of those.
No, it's a luxury item,
right
now. I mean, yes, would it be nice to have another weapon for him to throw to? It would be. However, it doesn't matter how many weapons you have if he doesn't have time to throw it to said weapons.
Right.
You know. Yeah, we talked about the Bengals. They have Darnell Wright, offensive tackle, going to Cincinnati. I love that pick if that does in fact happen, because I mean, Joe Burrow, you see what he can do with a. It's weird. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde offensive line. Sometimes it's really good.
Well,
and sometimes it's really bad.
And they just signed Orlando Brown.
They just signed Orlando,
who's only 26 years old.
Yep.
If they draft Darnell Wright here, if he's available for them, they go offensive tackle here.
Yep.
You've got your bookends.
Yep.
For locked up for 7 years, right? For basically the sweet spot for Joe Burrow's career.
Right.
right?
which I think would be a great pick for Cincinnati. Next up, we have the Saints. They have them taking Michael Mayer from Notre Dame, tight end. It really doesn't do much for me.
No, I mean he is regarded as the most complete tight end in the draft. So I don't like taking tight ends this early. I think any team that takes them this early is reaching. But again, it's the end of the first round. If they're looking to give Derek Carr a good release valve, a tight end weapon, it is what it is. But I don't necessarily like it. No.
Next up, we got the Eagles. Has them taking Felix Anudike Uzama, whatever the hell that says. Again, you can't necessarily go wrong drafting
D lineman.
You can't, especially if you're building up either of your lines, your offensive line or your defensive line. You see it. That's how championship teams are built.
Well, and that's another edge rusher.
Yes.
And again, the next pick behind this one is another edge rusher.
Yep.
Will McDonald, and they have Kansas City taking him. Again, it's one of those moves that there's a lot of edge rushers in this draft. There's some decent amount of defensive tackles in this draft. You're going to see a lot of in the trenches guys drafted early in this first round this year.
I think you are absolutely, because teams are seeing it now. This is how teams are winning now.
It's how you need to build. It's how you need to build.
Yep.
There are other positions that are needed, but when it comes down to it, they're more luxury than the defensive and offensive line. You need to build that way.
You do. I agree with you.
In order to have a solid, complete team. Speaking of solid, complete teams, the Joe Wright Group.
Yeah, I heard they're pretty good.
Yeah, I heard they're a very good team.
They're definitely building in the trenches.
That's whether you're buying or selling your home, now is the time to take advantage of having the expertise of 4 real estate agents for the price of 1 on your side. Make the right move with the right group, the Joe Wright Group. Give Craig Joe Wright, Mike Bush, Shane Wilson, and Alex DeRocher a call today at 248-535-4750 to fulfill all of your real estate needs.
There you go. Nicely done, sir. Well played.
Dankeschön.
So, I have a grind my gears I want to get into.
Oh, hold on.
Oh,
Wait, where's the grind my gears?
I don't
You know what really grinds my gears?
There you go.
And I heard this the other day. You hear it a lot, and you hear it in passing. You don't think much about it, but for whatever reason, I heard it the other day, and I just kind of grinded my gears when I heard it. Is when somebody says it's the worst thing. Like say you get a bad a cart at a grocery store that has like one shitty wheel, right?
Right.
Like, this is the worst thing ever. No, it isn't. It's not the worst thing ever.
It's the worst thing ever.
Or nothing's worse than. Like
Yeah.
like I said, the same scenario. It's like nothing's worse than getting a car with a bad wheel. No, nothing. Nothing is worse than that.
No, there's a lot of things.
Nothing's worse than that.
There's
Really.
a lot.
And again, it's something that shouldn't bother me, but it does, because it's just, why say that? Because it's not even remotely true at all. But
Well, it's one of those comments that's like, man,
this is the worst thing ever. This is the worst.
wow, you must live a very
Right.
padded life, because if that's the worst thing that's happened to you, holy shit.
You know, it's like, I don't know. It just caught me when I heard it one day, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna. That's definitely gonna be a grind my gears thing, because, frankly, yes, when people say it, and we're all guilty of it because we all do it, and I'm pissed off at myself for doing it because I know I've done it, but it's like, why do we do this?
Yeah.
Like, why are we this way?
Why are you the way you are?
Exactly. It's something about your face.
There's just something I don't like about your face.
Yes. So that was the grind my gears. I know it's a short one, but it was something that just caught me wrong when I heard it. So I wanted to get it out.
No, I'm with you there. That's a weird one. I guess it I don't really notice it when people do it as much, but yeah,
Now you're gonna notice it.
I am gonna notice it, and it's gonna be annoying. Yeah.
Sorry, I brought that upon you.
That's right. You know, I look at that. You know, the worst. It's the worst thing ever. It's so bad getting a cart with a bad
Right.
wheel on it.
Or just something
Or
innocuous like that.
Something inane.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's
just stupid.
It's like, no, that's not the worst thing ever. There's significantly.
She goes, it's like when you say, this is the best thing ever. Allison said that.
Oh,
She
yeah.
goes, it's like when you say, this is the best thing ever.
Is it?
I mean, I think I hear that more out of kids and my 5-year-old.
that's- yeah,
my
that's
5-year-old thinks
right.
every day is the best day of her life.
Right.
And listen, at this point in her life, I think every day is the best day of her life because every day gets better for her. I mean, once you hit a certain point, it's downhill from there. So I want her to keep looking at life in that positive aspect.
Or like this is like, or they say like this is the best pizza ever. Well,
yeah.
How do you know? Have you had all the pizza? You don't know. It's like this. If you say this is the best pizza I've ever eaten, fine.
That's different.
But you say this is the best pizza ever. Again, how do you know? Have you eaten all the pizza?
You haven't eaten every pizza in the
You
world.
don't know. It might not be the best pizza.
Have you been to Italy?
There you go.
Have you eaten pizza from Italy?
There you go.
Have you been to New York? New York pizza's great. Have you been there and had pizza?
Speaking of New York pizza, I had to run to the mall the other day, and Sparrow is back at Oakland Mall.
Oh, okay.
I saw that. I almost got a couple slices,
oh, all right.
but I was like, nah. I mean, that's fake New York pizza, but
It is fake New York pizza, and I don't like it. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a Sbarro fan.
well, I'm glad you brought that up because this is kind of one of the topics I wanted to get into last week, but obviously we kind of were running along. Out of pizzas, like I mean, people argue about this all the time. You know, what's the best pizza? New York style, Chicago style, etc., Detroit style. Which one do you think is the best? And I know for me it's Detroit style because I've had them all. And frankly, I don't think Chicago style is even pizza.
Chicago style is more like a pie.
It's not
like
pizza.
it's a yeah. I mean,
It's like chili from Cincinnati. It's not chili.
you're gonna keep going that well, aren't you?
Of course, every time.
No, I mean Chicago style pizza for me. I'm not like you. I don't not consider it pizza, but it is more of it's definitely different than what I would consider pizza. It's stuffed. It's like it's got a crust on the bottom, a crust on top. It's got stuffing in the middle. I don't know. It's thick. It's not. I'm not saying it's not pizza like you are, but it's definitely not the first thing I think of when I think of pizza.
No, it isn't. I would definitely take New York style over Chicago style any day of the week.
I take New York style over any of them.
Okay.
I'm a New York style guy.
I mean, what I like about New York style is obviously it's like a wider piece. It's like a bigger piece.
Yep.
And that's great. And it seems to be a little bit greasier too, I would think.
A little greasier.
Yeah.
And really, if you get the right New York style pizza,
Right.
it's
Don't
got,
get the one from fucking Pizza Hut.
right. It's got hell no, just no. It's gotta have the right amount of stiffness, but yet a little bit of flop. Right? Like you don't.
That's what she said.
Oh yeah, I walked right into that one.
You kind of did.
I walked right into that one. But it's. I'm just gonna stop talking right now because nothing else I say, nothing else I follow up with this will not be viewed as one of those one of those comments to come out. But yeah, it's you can't. I don't like a wilty pizza. You know what I mean? Like you pick it up and it just the slice just kind of like falls down. It's like
It goes limp. You said it.
it goes limp. You don't want a limp pizza, right? You want it to be able to stand up a little bit.
It goes flaccid.
You don't want a flaccid piece of pizza.
That's correct. You really don't.
You don't.
But see, therein lies the issue. Like with Detroit style, you don't see that.
You don't, right.
It's just that's what it is.
It's one, and it's a thicker crust.
It's hard.
It's the deep dish.
It's solid.
Yeah. Yep. It's firm.
It's firm.
It's thick.
It's thick. It's firm. It's got a nice crust to it. It's amazing.
That's not what she said. That's not what she said. She doesn't want a crust on it.
But yes, I prefer the Detroit style, and obviously not. I'm not saying that because we're in the Detroit area or anything like that. I just think it's the best pizza. Now,
Well, and I'm gonna go. My second favorite would be, as opposed to going with a regular round.
yeah,
I love the New York round. I love the New York slice.
And see,
but if
that's-
I'm gonna go regular, I'm not gonna go regular round. I'm gonna go to Detroit style.
yeah.
Next before I go to regular round.
I almost got to separate them though when you go for Detroit style and then round. because I think there's different pizzas.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is to me the regular round pizza is not. It's not a New York.
Yeah.
It's not a Detroit style. So for me, if I'm gonna go with the New York slice, I prefer.
That's fair.
Then I'm gonna go with the Detroit style.
Yeah.
Which I'm used to at this point. I love because we're here. We eat it all the time.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go to a regular round pizza, which is a different topic all in itself. It's a different category.
It is. Now, I would tend to agree with you on the New York round style, but I do love myself a thin crust round. It's delicious.
That would be my fourth. I got to be in the mood for it.
That's fair.
I really do got to be.
So I'm not a huge crust guy. Like I'm not.
See, I always get flavor crust though.
Well, I would always get, but even that, it's just sometimes it's just like, ugh, you know.
I'm better. Like I love a flavored crust with some real good ranch dressing to dip it in.
Fair.
Or some really good pizza sauce, depending on where you go to get your pizza. If they have a good pizza sauce. Now, I'm not a Jets guy. I'm not. Their sauce is not my favorite, so that wouldn't be my place. I would get around and dunk the flavored crust in the sauce, but
Right.
you know,
So another one I wanted to bring up last week. What is the most overrated fast food item?
French fries
Really?
for me. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not a French fry guy.
See, I love French fries.
It depends on who it is, but for me, it's the most overrated item because every place serves them, and not every place is good. And everywhere you go, no matter what you get, whether you get chicken nuggets, chicken tenders, burger, chicken sandwich, whatever you get, you always get fries. It's the most overrated item to me. I don't like it. Fries is filling when it's not that good to me. Ugh, I'm good. I'm out.
You mentioned one that I thought about, and it was chicken nuggets, because I don't think there's a fast food place that has good chicken nuggets. I really don't. Like a gun to my head, if I had to choose one, it'd probably be McDonald's, and theirs aren't very good anymore. They
No,
used to be-
those
they
are
used to
for
be- yeah.
They used to be better. Those are for kids.
They are.
I'm not a chicken a McDonald's chicken.
But if I'm
guy.
going just straight up, what I think is the most overrated item at a fast food joint, it's the Mexican pizza.
from Taco Bell,
I think
Oh.
it's the most overrated fast food item on any menu.
I mean, the world went nuts when they brought it back.
They did. I don't understand it. I don't get the fascination with it. It's not that good.
Yeah, see, but we talked about this before. I'm not a Taco Bell guy. I don't really like Taco Bell.
That's fair.
Everyone fucking loves Taco Bell, and I'm like, I'm good, fam. I listen. If we're talking fast food tacos, I'm going to Del Taco.
Yeah, Del Taco was better. I agree with you.
But
yes,
I don't get a craving for Taco Bell.
that's fair.
Now, will I every once in a while get it if it's late and there's not much open and I'm hungry and I want a bite to eat? Yeah, I'll go there. I'll get a chicken soft taco or something like that. But no, I'm not craving Taco Bell ever. I'm never saying I'm gonna. You know what? I've got a craving for Taco Bell. I have to get Taco Bell today. Never. You're never gonna hear those words out of my mouth.
I can understand that.
So yes, I'm with you. I would. The Mexican pizza falls in there because it's from Taco Bell and I don't give a shit.
And now, like anything you get from there is like $3, so it's like, all right,
Yeah, it's not even cheap anymore.
it's not. It's not even remotely cheap, which really sucks. But and the last question I had from last week that I wanted to ask: who do you think is the most dominant athlete on the planet right now? Is
This is probably the toughest question. You gotta give me a minute to think on this one, bud.
okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had two in mind, but I'm going to go with just one, and to me, it's Connor McDavid. The shit we're seeing this guy do, I don't think we've ever seen a guy do this.
It's hard to not go that direction.
Like the speed and what seems the ease he does this in a game that's fast now.
Right.
Like we've seen fast guys like Fedorov and Bure and guys like that
Right.
in a league that was slow and was clutching and grabbing, etc. But now you're seeing a guy in a league that's fast, in a league that guys like pretty much everybody in the league can skate now,
Right.
and he's like on another gear when he skates, and like nobody can touch him. And to see the numbers he's putting up, and just to see, like I said, the athleticism he does it with, and I don't know if we've ever seen a player like this. He's just on a. I mean, that term generational talent gets thrown out a lot.
Yeah.
This dude is a legitimate generational talent. And the sad thing is, I think he's only 24, 25. So he's just going to get better. That's scary that he's going to get better.
Yeah.
So I think right now he is the most dominant athlete on the planet.
I mean, I'm going to have a hard time saying no to that.
All right.
I mean, I can't think of anybody that actually it would surpass him.
The only other one I thought of was Patrick Mahomes. But the only reason why I'm not picking Mahomes is simply because we've seen guys do this before.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily. Oh. He's an amazing player. I don't necessarily think he's dominant.
No, I don't either.
So that for me is a hard one to. Yeah, I can't go that direction.
Right.
I mean, it's hard to argue with Connor McDavid. It really is. I mean, there's a lot of great athletes, but when you're saying being the most dominant, it's hard to argue Connor McDavid.
It is, and I mean, obviously, he's gonna have to lift the cup in order to be considered like the greatest. I mean, you can throw Shohei in there if you want.
Yeah,
He might be in that, bro. He's in that conversation. I think
he's there. I think another year like he had last year puts him.
Might put him number one.
Yeah. Yeah, I maybe another one. You know, if you're looking at tennis, Novak Djokovic.
Which I don't think.
You know, if you're doing that, but I mean, if you're talking most dominant athlete in their individual sport, that would be it. But I mean, you know, it's how you look at it overall. If you're going to include all sports, then
like like seeing what Connor is doing now. It's kind of like watching what prime Tiger Woods did. Just dominant,
right?
It's like okay.
It's just you're in awe.
Like you're like,
a lot of the time.
There's everybody else on the course, or there's everybody else on the ice,
right? And then
there's that guy,
and then there's that, yeah.
You know,
Yep.
It's like you guys aren't even remotely on the same level as this guy.
Yep.
So that's why I pick Connor McDavid. But yes, I don't. You want to do the drinks? We'll skip the picks this week because there's no soccer or anything going on.
Skip the picks? Yes, we can get right into the drinks then.
Let's do the drinks.
All right, motherfuckers, let's take a timeout and taste this.
So the drink this week is from Bell's Brewery, and it is called Lager of the Lakes. It is a Bohemian Pilsner.
All right.
I am curious to try this one.
Is that right?
Yes. What did I say this was? Bohemian Pilsner, Lager of the Lakes. It does not have a alcohol content on here that I see. So, oh, there it does, 5%. So nothing strong.
Okay. It's got a good waft.
I mean,
Wafting.
wafting. All right.
All right.
Cheers.
Salute.
Nope. I did not like that.
No, I'm not a fan.
I did not like that.
That is one. It doesn't have a lot of flavor, and two, the flavor it does have is not.
That
not
is
great.
That is not tasty. That tastes like it's from Lake Erie.
That's nasty.
Yeah. Like Lager of the Lakes. Yeah, I think it's from the dredges of Lake Erie.
Yeah.
That's not tasty.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yes, that is nasty. So I'm gonna give that like a 1.9.
I'm gonna give it a 1.
Fair enough.
A fucking 1.
All right then.
All right. Anything else, bud?
No.
All right. That's going to bring us to the end of this week's episode. give us a like, a share, and a follow on our social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts on your favorite podcast provider. As always, check out SOTDET.com. Once again, that's SOTDET.com. I want to thank everybody for listening and or watching. On behalf of Chris, I'm Joe. We are Sports on Tap Detroit. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no!
Bye, have a great time.
No! God!
Bye, guys.
No, 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 no!
Bye, buddy.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
You were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I've ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.